Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. So, I haven't made a video in a minute, but I have been being productive. Hopefully everyone else is being productive as well. Having a good kickoff to the new year, getting your projects going, writing songs, recording, learning, whatever it is. Wood shedding. It's always a process of wood shedding for me, and I like that. But I had a great weekend, was able to spend time with my band, East Orange, all the original members, and we had a great time together. Didn't make any videos, but we had decided that we didn't want to feel the pressure to have anything, and those are just for fun anyway, like an exercise. They're usually covers, and we just do it for fun. But what I'm excited about is I was talking to them about all these songs and this album that I'm trying to put together, which I really see as like a series of demos, but it keeps me going. You know, I have to record at all times to just keep the songs going, and I'm making a record, but it would be great to have them play on it, right? Especially live, because they're amazing. They're like on a whole nother level, and I can't wait to get their contribution to the material, so I'm going to start sending them the songs, like the same way we've been playing them here on the show, on the channel, or the show, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do that with them by just, sending it to them, and we're going to figure out cool live arrangements. Who knows what they'll end up bringing to it. New versions could arise, new recorded versions could arise, that kind of thing. So anyway, that was really cool and productive. And one of the things that we did together, Mark and I were going, just like, he was like looking at one of his streaming services, and we'd look up like classic albums, like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was like big albums, big time records from like the 80s, 90s, or whatever. And we also listened to a lot of like 90s indie, just because we were playing bands that we had toured with, or like maybe did a show with, or that we liked their record back in the day. We were listening to some of that too, but we were also listening to like really big records and trying to figure out, like, why did they put it in this track order? I always find track order fascinating. Like, which songs are the big songs? You can tell this is the big song, and this song is somewhat derivative of the big song, and it sort of supports the big song, but it's not a big song on its own. And which song did they put in their sort of last song on the side? They're kind of burner tracks. Like, I always think of the burner track sometimes, not always, but sometimes on like the fifth song on a side. Mainly because back in the day, when everything was vinyl, you have a geometry problem with your stylus. So your arm is like 9 point whatever inches long, and the stylus connected to it, there's like a geometry involved, and as it moves along, the geometry becomes much more unfavorable. It becomes out of alignment with the groove. So that last, the last couple of tracks, especially the last minute of the fifth song, the last song on any album, it's going to be the worst as far as fidelity. It's going to be like more grain in it, more grit, because you're out of alignment. So that was a consideration. So people would put kind of their weakest tracks at the end of these sides. So maybe the last track on side 1, and maybe on side 2 you might not make it be the last song, because that might be something special, but you might put it in between, like this track 7, track 8, that kind of thing. Those would be more album filler spaces. And I noticed that a lot. Some of the songs would be the really big songs, and then there's like the support songs. It was just an interesting exercise, because I feel like this song falls into the support song category. It wouldn't be like one that you would release, maybe never play live. But I'm going to leave it on the record because I need some songs. This would be the 5th song, and I'm working on my 6th song, and I need at least 3 more. So I'm not in the mood to shed any more tunes. I already burned 4 of them. So this one I think is okay enough to keep it in for now, unless somehow I went on a flurry and wrote a bunch of better ones and I could just dump it. But I think it has some cool stuff going on, and no matter what, for now it'll be a good exercise as far as like mixing, mastering on the channel, because there's some I think I put a lot of stuff that's sort of unfinished here, like a lot of parts. So let's just see what happens. I'm gonna start with Let's see, on this, let me make sure what's on each row. Okay, it's only 3 tracks on the second row. And I ask you to help me remember that. Just kidding. And then everything else is normal. So the first row, I'm going to take all the tracks off the first row. And then there's only 3. I'm going to try to remember that 3 on that one. And then here we have the drums. So I'll start with the drums. I'll pull everything down except for the snare. And then we'll just go from there. Okay, let me get these headphones on. Got it connected to the speaker. Hopefully it's loud enough. Okay, here we go. This one's called Here I Am. This was back when I was using Big Shape number 26, and I don't use anything anymore. It compresses a little bit more. It's kind of cool sounding, but I think I prefer the drier tone that I'm doing now that doesn't have that extra kind of sort of compressed, like sort of slap. It also has sort of a more forward sound, but mainly I just noticed some pumping and squeezing on it, which I don't like. I mean, it's okay, it's fine, but I like the way I'm doing it now where I don't have that Big Shape setting. It's a highly compressed setting on the dual mic algorithm. Or the dual, let me see what it's called. Oh, I don't want to mess up my stuff. So let's just go with this right now. Okay, I'm going to add in the left overhead. Right overhead. Bass drum. Bass drum sounds good. I bet you can't hear it because the camera mic will cut it off, but bass drum's the best sounding drum. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning of that and just get the drums in for a second. I mean, this is just going to be a rough end. Okay, that was fine and dandy. Now we're going to go to the first row. Let me go to track and just make sure I know where everything is. Okay, track 6 is guitar left, guitar right, guitar solo 1, guitar solo 2, bass. Okay. Alright, so it starts on track 6. Okay, I'm splitting these out. Left 40, right 40. You won't be able to tell because we're mono, but I'll be able to tell in here. And those guitars sound pretty good. I mean, I say guitars. It's one guitar with 2 tracks. And I've got 555 on the EQ. So if you go to pan EQ, I've got high, mids, lows, all at 5. And I've got left 40, right 40 on 6 and 7. Track 6 is left 40, track 7 is right 40. And the fader is like at 67 on both of them. 67, we'll try it at 67. let's add the bass in. That's on the second row. Okay, let's isolate it for a second, just because I remember liking this bass part. I looked up Luke, I think his name is Luke Bass, and he had this cool, it was like 5 basic blues runs, and because this one kind of had like a, you know, basic blues feel to it, and it had a bunch of cool little things, and this was one of them, and it taught me a lot about playing bass. Okay, now I have 2 tracks of bass. It's not doubled, it's just double tracked. It's not, I didn't play twice, I just put 2 of them in there. If you've watched these videos, you'll know that I do that a lot, just because the zoom, for whatever reason, some of the time when you record stuff, it sounds a little anemic if you don't have 2 of them. So I just bring 2 in. It's 24 tracks. There's usually plenty of room, because I usually only record up to 16 tracks. So I usually have room for extra stuff, usually around 12 tracks. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to add some low, because it just feels like it could use some more low end. Here comes the low end. I'm going to put 5 on both channels. Put mid for 5 on both channels. And I'm splitting this one out. It sounds nice. Usually bass, you can't tell when you split it, but you can't hear. You can feel it getting bigger, like more round. There's a little part. Okay, I just brought the guitars up a little bit, because what's coming up next is going to be a battle of guitar versus vocal level, because I want the vocal to be kind of buried a little bit. I don't want it to be too pushed on this one. So let's get into that vocal. We'll turn everything else off and terrorize your ears with isolated vocal sounds. Here we go. This is the main vocal.
Here in the mirror, did you notice me?
I'm going to add mid to that.
Ooh, like a razor, slash me, cut me up. Ooh, like a razor, oh.
Okay, let's see what it sounds like with everything in there, just to see if it mixes in. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. Okay. It's the guitar and the vocal that's... Okay, I got a little double tracks on that. Here I am. I bet on the whole chorus. Let me listen. Here we go. Yeah, it's double tracked right there. So I'll bring that down so it sounds natural, not so glossed. And then there's a, let me just see what's on here as far as tracks go. Okay, so in track 1 I have vocal 1, then vocal 2, which is the same track, it's just doubled for more, you know, gusto, more robustness. Then the next one is a double on that chorus. Here I am, love me, here I am. Just singing along, so it just gets a little more goosed. You'll notice that on choruses a lot. That's where people double track, if they don't double track on all of it. Then there's another vocal harmony in track 4. I think that's here I am. Oh, there's one that here I bet it's low, and then this one's high. And then guitar left, guitar right. And then in track 8 is guitar solo 1. Track 9 is guitar solo 2. And we haven't even listened to those yet. When we get to them, I'll isolate them. How about that? So that's going to turn on now to get that guitar. Then go back to here and turn that one on. I'll just turn all these tracks on, and the vocals will start coming in. That's on, that's on. I think all the tracks will be on now. So let's take it from the top. Okay, right there is a high harmony and a low harmony, I believe. Let's isolate it so we can tell. I'll leave that little guitar up as a guide. Here I am, lonely. Oh wow, there's a really high one. Here I am lonely. Is that all in pitch? Here I am lonely. I think it's okay. Anyway, so let's just hear it all together. What the heck? Sorry, that's what was happening. I kept hitting the mastering button like a dum-dum. Okay, let's just see what we have here now. But you heard those little things I was doing. The only thing we haven't heard now is that this solo. So I did a fade on that feedback. Okay, I think that's a good run through just to show you what's happening. I'm going to continue to work on it because those vocal levels, you know, getting all those little harmony levels, the high voice, the low voice, the main vocal. I want that vocal. I was listening to some of those 90s records that came out on like Mammoth and Matador, and almost always the vocal is like mixed really low. I remember that. That was the thing in the 90s. And some songs really call for that. Mick Jagger was heavy into that, like mixing vocals really low. Like on Exile on Main Street, he wanted the vocal to be like, you know, a guitar or something where it's like in the mix, not sitting above the mix, because traditionally vocal is the most prominent, vocal and snare drum. Okay, so let's listen to that guitar real quick. We've already heard the track. Let's just make sure that that's sitting right. I think it was sounding kind of cool. I used to think the song was too slow, and I can easily speed it up a couple notches, and I might just do that. But this time I don't mind the pace of it. Okay, there's that little solo bit. Might have to track that again, just because it's a bit sloppy, but it might be okay in the mix. But you can see I'm struggling to keep those. Those are really good exercises, those trills. So anyway, that's what you have. I think it all is okay. That's why I'm putting it as the last song on the first side. And now the motivation is to get it in gear, get this song track, you know, the guitar track, get my drum thing going, and then just get it done. I want to quickly, I said in you know, the last video I made, the goal was to really get it going, and the goal is to really get it going. I don't want to get hung up. I want to just get this song done and really try to get another one in the works right behind it, and do that 3 times in a row so that I can finish this and we can have some good live experiences with some of this material and take it to the next level. All right, hopefully everyone out there's, you know, having good success with everything they're trying to do. If there's any advice or anything I can offer, reach out. Thank you. Next time.